Even the lowest servant in this hall has more mana than you, Kalis.
You are a curse on our bloodline, a stain that won't wash out.
Perhaps it's best if you simply disappeared from our sight. Spare us the shame.
Don't let them see. Swallow it. They'll never see me cry.
He didn't pack, he didn't look back. The rain swallowed him whole. Through the dark, rain-slicked alleys he ran, his chest heaving, heart pounding against his ribs. As he stumbled, a sudden warmth bloomed beneath his palm, hot and strange. A faint celestial rune began to glow through his soaked shirt, like fire under skin, the mark of a pact older than the Arvandor line, a secret even he didn't understand. He vanished into the storm, the light on his chest, the only trace of his existence. But his legs were failing, each step heavier than the last, the world blurring into black and silver. A broken shrine at the edge of the district offered no warmth, only a corner to collapse in. He hit the rotten floorboards, gasping as the rune on his chest flared like a star igniting. The light burned through his veins, searing every nerve, and then he knew nothing. The mark pulsed once, twice, casting long shadows against the walls, and then settled into a steady glow. A silent shock wave rippled outward, invisible, brushing past the city and reaching the Arvandor estate. Duke Orin paused in his study, a sudden chill crawling up his spine. He touched the window, frowning, but the sensation passed. He shook his head and returned to his ledgers, muttering about the draft. No one in that house felt the ancient pact stir. No one dreamed their discarded son had just sealed their future. The rain kept falling, and deep in the slums, a young man lay unconscious, his heart burning with celestial power. Months passed. The Arvandor estate, once a husk of former glory, now gleamed with renewed wealth.
This power is nothing compared to what I'll achieve. The wind answers to me alone.
My ice can freeze even the mightiest warrior solid. The kingdom will know my name.
Our ancient territory is ours once more. The Arvandor name will be feared and revered.
Finally, our bloodline proves its worth. The world will see our true strength.
Why does this power feel wrong? Like it's not really ours.
But even at the peak, a shadow lurked. The pact pulsed quietly, feeding them a borrowed fire that none understood.
This fire. It's beautiful, but it scares me. Does anyone else feel the cold beneath the heat?
Nonsense, child. We have earned this through determination and sacrifice.
And so the Arvandors celebrated, blind to the clock ticking beneath their feet. In the old library, Elder Voss felt a tremor in the magical wards. Something had shifted, something ancient. He followed the faint energy trail to a section of the archives long forgotten. Dust-covered tomes waited.
This surge, it's not natural. No family awakens such power overnight without a source.
His fingers brushed an old manuscript. The title read, Treatise on Celestial Obligations. Inside, a passage spoke of a pact that could ignite dormant bloodlines, but always in exchange for an unseen toll.
A celestial pact. Could this be what fuels the Arvandor name now? We must investigate. My lord, our glory may not be our own doing. There are forces at play I do not understand.
Voss, you spend too much time among musty pages. Look around, we have worked for this.
But the texts warn of a price, a balance. I beg you, let me search deeper.
Enough. I will not have doubt poison our triumph. Return to your books and find a hobby.
The first crack appeared during solo training. Cassian's wind scythe recoiled, slicing his forearm open.
This wasn't a mistake. The air, it turned against me.
Livia attempted to craft a ice sculpture, but the frost crept up her fingers and froze her hands solid.
The numbness won't fade. It's like my own element is consuming me.
Eveline's candle flame suddenly died, and the backlash scorched her palm, black veins appearing briefly.
That pain wasn't natural. Something is squeezing the magic out of us.
They hid the wounds beneath sleeves and gloves, saying nothing to each other. But the dread grew. Meanwhile, Voss deciphered more of the ancient treaty. The pact required a forsaken spark to ignite.
A spark. Something cast aside. But what or who was it?
He began to search the family records, looking for any child who might have been overlooked. While Voss combed through dusty lineages, Seraphina's guilt drew her to a place untouched since that night, Kaelus's old room. Beneath the loose floorboard, her fingers touched cold metal, a tarnished silver locket, its chain tangled with a worn journal.
He kept these here all along. Why did I never look?
She opened the locket first. Inside was a miniature family portrait, faces she barely recognized from before their rise. Then the journal. Its last entry was penned hours before he vanished. The ink had bled into gray blurs, as if by rain, or tears.
Every line speaks of a bargain, a sacrifice. Did he know? Did I force him into this?
She rushed to Oren's study, clutching the evidence, her heart drumming with a dread that had no name.
Oren, our son wrote about a celestial bargain. His disappearance, it's not cowardice. We may have paid for this with him.
You've lost your senses, blaming a runaway for our resurgence. This is madness. Burn that nonsense.
But for the first time, Seraphina saw a crack in his certainty, and she knew she could no longer ignore the truth clawing at her conscience. Voss's trembling finger traced the final clause of the celestial treaty. The ink seemed to burn under his touch.
The unworthy one's departure ignites the flame, but should he not return willingly, the fire shall consume all heirs. The unworthy one, the child they mocked. It must be Kaelus. His flight lit the fuse.
He burst from the library, ancient scroll clutched in his gnarled hands, and demanded an immediate family assembly.
This had better be life or death, Voss. What could possibly be so urgent?
It is, my lord. Our power is not a blessing. It is a death sentence, and your son Kaelus is the only key.
Stunned silence gripped the hall. Livia's ice-cold composure cracked first, her breath misting in the suddenly frigid air.
That worthless outcast. You are telling me my life depends on the brother we threw away.
I found his journal. It spoke of sacrifice. Oh, stars, what have we done?
We must find him. Now, before the fire consumes us all.
Oren dispatched every scout at his command. The entire estate mobilized like a war camp preparing for a siege. A falcon returned before sunset, its leg-bound message sealed with a crude village stamp. The note confirmed his survival. A charcoal burner in the eastern foothills, living under an assumed name.
I'll bring him back. By reason if he listens, by force if he doesn't.
He's still an Arvandor. He knows his duty. We'll remind him.
Please, don't hurt him. He's suffered enough because of us.
Maybe I should go too. He was always kindest to me when we were little.
Number, your brother and sister will go. Make him see that his family needs him.
Cassian and Livia rode out at first light, unarmed in body but bristling with noble entitlement. Seraphina stood at the gate long after they disappeared, the silver locket warm against her trembling hand. High in the mountain village, Kaelus swung an axe, splitting logs under the warm sun. His hands were calloused, his smile rare but real.
Open this door, Kaelus. Our father commands your return. You've hidden long enough.
The Arvandor name rises again. You owe it to us to stop this childish tantrum.
Inside, Kaelus set down his axe. His expression, visible only to the wooden walls, was hollow, as if carved from old grief.
They speak of duty now. Where was duty the night I left?
Stop wasting time. If you don't come willingly, I'll break down this door and drag you back.
The door flew open, just enough to reveal Kaelus's cold eyes. Then it slammed shut with a force that shook the frame. They rode back in silence, the weight of the closed door heavier than any physical blow. No word, no plea, just that hollow slam.
He wouldn't even speak to us. That was no brother, just a stranger wearing his face.
Then we must go ourselves, on our knees if necessary. He is still our son.
Duke Oren and Duchess Seraphina arrived at the cottage under a weeping sky. They did not knock, they knelt in the mud.
Kaelus, my son, we were wrong. Everything we said, everything we did, it was poison. Please, just open the door.
I told you to disappear. The stars must have wept hearing those words. I will never forgive myself. Just let us see your face.
Inside the cottage, Kalis stood motionless, his hand resting on the wooden beam. The voices cut deeper than any axe.
They kneel now. Where was the mud when I crawled through the rain? Number, stay still. Don't let them see the crack.
Then the door opened, just a sliver. Kalis's cold eye searched them, finding no trace of the proud nobles who once banished a child.
You are getting your robes filthy. I have nothing to offer people like you. Say what you came to say.
We need your help. The pact, it's burning through us. Without you, we all die. Please, just listen.
Fine. Get up. You can speak inside, but only because the rain will warp my floor.
He pulled the door wider, stepping back into shadow. They rose on trembling legs, entering the home of the son they threw away.
You stand here soaked in regret, but we both know you didn't come for love. You came because you are dying.
We were blind, but we're still your blood. Please. You must know something that can stop the pact from consuming us.
I know everything. I found the Celestial Treaty buried in Father's own library years ago, before that banquet, before your words carved me hollow. The unworthy one's departure ignites the flame. I read those words alone, at 13, and I understood. I was never meant to inherit power, just to be the fuse.
You knew all this time. You let us rise, knowing it would destroy us.
I gave you exactly what you demanded. A disappearance. The pact did the rest. I owe you nothing, not even my pity.
I told you to leave. I pushed you into the storm. What have I done?
You called me a curse. Now you see the truth. I am the foundation, and you are the cracks spreading without me.
Then there must be a way, a bargain, anything. Name your price.
My price isn't gold or a title. I've already taken what I needed. A life where no one calls me worthless. Your fire will have to burn elsewhere.
The cottage door shuddered again as Cassian, Livia, and Eveline burst inside, their faces pale with dread and desperation.
We heard you refuse them. Kalis, we were arrogant fools. But you are still our blood.
Blood? Livia called me a curse that should be washed away. Do you remember, sister?
My hand. The ice, it's freezing inside me again.
And Cassian boasted that even servants had more mana. Now your own wind slices you open.
The scar on my arm, it's burning. Something is pulling the wind out of me.
Eveline, you watched in silence while they destroyed me. Even now you tremble, but not for me.
I am sorry. I am so sorry. My fire, it's dying, and my chest feels like it's collapsing.
The air thickened with raw magic, wispy tendrils of light bleeding from the siblings as the pact demanded its price.
Please, Kalis, stop. You've made your point. We're dying. Is there nothing left in you but hate?
You want me to save you? Then swear. Renounce every last drop of magic. Every title, every privilege. Become the nothing you called me.
Become commoners. Throw away everything we've built. You are insane.
I won't surrender my ice. It's who I am. There must be another way.
The air crackled as the pack's hunger grew, spectral winds tearing at Cassian's wounds, frostbite spreading up Livia's arms.
I can't feel my heartbeat. Please, Kalis, I'll do anything. I was wrong to stay silent.
My territory, my legacy. You ask too much, boy, but my children are dying.
It was always borrowed time, Orin. I'll give it up. I only want my son back. Even if he hates me.
Hate, Number. I've moved beyond that. But if you want to live as commoners, you must truly accept it. No hidden artifacts, no schemes. Just nothing.
Cassian's legs buckled, his windshield shattering inward. Livia's scream froze in her throat as ice crept toward her heart. Time was devouring them.
The countdown isn't mine. It's yours. Decide. Oblivion, or a lifetime of insignificance.
I'd rather burn to ashes than lose my power. You won't turn me into a nobody like you.
Then burn. I've wasted enough air on this farce.
Wait. You can't just leave us to die. Please, for the love of the stars, Kalis.
The stars gave you a chance. You used it to build a throne over my bones.
A sharp gasp cut the air. Eveline crumpled. her small body hitting the wooden floor like a fallen candle. A thin trail of blood trickled from her nose, dark against her pale skin. The pact was no longer waiting, it was feeding.
Aveline. No, no, this can't be.
She's not breathing. Kalis, save her. I beg you.
Kalis paused at the threshold. His hand tightened on the doorframe, his back as unyielding as the mountain stone.
Name any condition. We'll surrender it all. Just don't let her die.
Is this surrender, or just a pause in the storm? Words are cheap. I need the truth.
I'll renounce my title, my magic, my name. I just want my children to live.
The Arvandor name dies with me. No more Duke, no more power. Only a father begging for his children.
I can't. I won't. Please. Just stop her bleeding. I'll give up the wind. I'll give up the wind. I'll give up everything.
My ice is already killing me. Take it. Take all of it. I don't want to die.
This is not a favor. It is a binding. Once I begin, you will be mundane for all your remaining years. No second chances.
We accept. On the memory of every Arvandor who came before, we accept.
Kalis shut the door. The storm outside fell silent. He knelt and pressed his glowing fingertip to the floorboards. A ring of starlight bloomed beneath his touch, cold and precise, carving runes that had not been seen in centuries.
Step into the circle. All of you. Once you cross, there is no stepping back. Only forward into a life without sorcery.
One by one, they crossed the luminous boundary. The air inside the circle tasted of ozone and old starlight.
By the covenant of the Forsaken, I call back what was never yours to hold. Let the flame return to the spark.
The runes on the floor ignited, chains of light snapping upward, piercing each Arvandor heart like needles of silver.
The wind, it's tearing free from my lungs. I can't. It hurts.
My hands. The ice is melting, but it burns like fire under my skin.
Aveline's small body arched, a final wisp of flame escaping her lips before her eyes fluttered shut.
I feel it leaving. The warmth of years draining away. Kalis, don't stop.
A Duke no more. Just a man, stripped bare.
Kalis stood at the center, his own runes blazing brighter with every stolen breath, but his face was stone.
More. Give it all. The pact demands every last drop, or she dies.
The chains of light snapped one final time, and the circle fell into silence. The runes faded like dying stars. One by one, the Arvandors crumpled to the floorboards. No trace of magic remained in their veins, only the hollow ache of mortality.
Aveline, she's breathing. Warm air, not fire. She's alive.
I feel so light. The weight of authority is gone, and my hands are just hands.
This emptiness, is this what you lived with, brother? I never understood.
Kalis stood unmoved at the center, his body now a living constellation. The stolen magic swirled within him, binding itself to his soul. The runes on his skin dimmed to a soft, steady pulse, the rhythm of a celestial heart now forever intertwined with his own.
They are nothing now. Just as they wanted me.
He looked down at the family who had thrown him away. There was no triumph in his gaze, only the cold clarity of a debt settled. He had given them their lives back at the cost of everything they valued, and he would never be what they were again.
Look at yourselves. No power, no title, no name that matters. This is what you called worthless. This is your reflection. I gave you what you never gave me. Life. But I owe you nothing more. Not forgiveness, not comfort, not even a glance back.
He turned his back on the Arvandor family for the last time. The cottage door opened onto a world he no longer belonged to.
Kalis, where will you go? We are nothing without you. At least let us bear your name.
As he stepped into the rain-washed dawn, his silhouette began to waver, the edges dissolving into motes of pale light. The runes on his skin ignited one final time, not with borrowed magic, but with the essence of a pact fulfilled.
He is not walking, he is ascending. To where? To the stars?
Higher and higher he rose, a human-shaped constellation, until the morning sky claimed him entirely. For a heartbeat, a new star burned above the village, then faded into the blue. Kalis Arvandor was no longer a man. The family that despised him huddled in the dirt, staring at the empty heavens, their cries swallowed by the wind. High above, where the morning blue deepened, a new constellation took shape, a young man with open arms, formed of 11 eternal stars.
That constellation, it bears his shape. He was never the curse. We were. The true celestial heir stood among us, and we spat on him.
I told my own son to disappear. Now he watches from the sky, a guardian to the world, but never again to us.
I boasted about wind, but he became the sky. Every breath I take from now on will be his.
My ice melted, my pride melted. All that's left is the memory of calling him a stain. He was the only pure one.
Eveline stirred her small chest rising with mortal breath, and opened her eyes to see her brother written in the heavens.
Brother, is that you? I am sorry I never fought for you. Now you shine too bright to reach.
The truth crashed over them like the final wave of a storm. Their resurgence had been a deathbed, and the son they despised had paid the ransom. Regret poured in, cold and absolute. There would be no apology grand enough, no deed strong enough to pull him back from the sky. Kalis had become what they could never be, a guardian carved from their cruelty, a star born of their rejection. And they would live the rest of their days under his silent, eternal gaze. Months bled into seasons. The former Arvandor nobles labored in common clothes, their hands learning new trades while their hearts carried old wounds.
I used to command armies, now I split firewood. And every evening, I look up and see him.
Each stitch I sew reminds me of the threadbare hope I wove when I told him to leave.
These blisters, a fair trade for the scars I gave him. Every splinter reminds me of the man I used to be.
The loom doesn't care about my noble blood. It only cares that I keep weaving, like the constellations weave across the sky.
The children I teach ask about the bright star. I tell them it's a guardian. I don't tell them it's my brother.
Every night, the constellation of Kalis rose in the east, a silent reminder of what they had thrown away.
I would trade every acre of my former land for one more moment to kneel before him and ask forgiveness.
I light this candle not for comfort, but to apologize into the dark. Maybe the light reaches him.
The star did not answer. It simply watched, as eternal as their regret. Years folded seamlessly into decades. On a hill overlooking a quiet village, 5 elderly figures gathered at dusk, their backs bent but their eyes fixed on the sky.
I once thought legacy was carved in stone, but stone crumbles. Only the stars remember.
He never came back, but he left us here, together, with nothing to fight over except a patch of grass.
All that pride, just ashes now. At least the wind still blows without my command.
I can't even feel the cold anymore. Just the warmth of this old shawl, and the star that watches over us.
I still teach the children that the constellation protects them. They never ask why I cry when I say its name.
The constellation of Kalis Arvandor shimmered into view, its 11 stars holding their eternal vigil. No one spoke for a long while. The wind carried only the sound of crickets and the quiet sigh of acceptance. They had found no redemption, only the painful peace of a cage of their own making, but they were together, under his light, and that, perhaps, was the closest thing to forgiveness they would ever know. Then, a single star detached from the constellation, a silver tear falling through the velvet dark.
Forgive me, Kalis. I was not the mother you deserved, but I have loved you every day since you left.
The star did not fall to destroy, but to remind a single tear from a guardian who had once been a son. One by one, their wrinkled hands found each other, forming a circle as fragile as the bond they had once broken. They had been given a second chance, not as nobles, but as human beings. And that was the cruelest gift of all. In the village below, a child looked up and asked her grandmother about the weeping star. The old woman smiled, saying it was the heart of a guardian saying goodbye. Kalis Arvandor, once despised, now eternal, watched over them, not with anger, but with the quiet sorrow of one who had loved and lost. And so the family that threw him away sat under his light, learning, too late, that the true power was never in blood or magic, but in the choices they made. The night deepened, the The stars held their vigil, and the 5 figures on the hill became part of the landscape of regret. And, somewhere beyond the veil of the sky, a young man with tired blue eyes finally closed them, resting in the arms of the cosmos he had become.